Hello and welcome everyone. I'm Patricia Kingston and I'm the Corporate Events Officer at Tourism NI. So thank you so much for joining us for this morning's webinar. This is actually the fifth and final session in our AI for Tourism webinar series, and today we're exploring how AI is transforming data analytics in the tourism industry. We're delighted to be joined once again this morning by our expert speaker, and I'm dubbing him our AI oracle, Kieran Connolly from Profile Tree. So over the next 45 minutes or so, Kieran's going to be taking us through how AI-powered insights can help you understand visitor behaviour, optimise marketing campaigns, finances, making data-driven decisions, all that good stuff. So after the main presentation, as always, I'll be picking up as many of your questions as I can with Kieran. So just pop those into the question box at any time during the session, and I'll pick up as many of those as I can at the end. So let's get stuck in right away. It's my pleasure to hand over to Kieran Connolly for today's session. Good morning, Kieran, and over to you.
Good morning. Thank you very much. No, great, and thank you everyone for joining today. So again, we've got the hardcore AI fans with us today, which is brilliant to see. And I'm going to show you basically how easy it is to use AI to dive into the data that you have in your business. So it's I'm hoping at the end of this you'll be quite surprised at how easy it is. One of the stats I seen was that businesses using AI-driven analytics, so taking their data and using AI to analyze it, we're seeing an average of 20% increase in revenue due to smarter and faster decisions. So personally, I think it's actually in our business it's been bigger than that. So let's see how we can encourage you to use it and see what numbers you can get as well. So we've got 6 or 7 slides, and then we're going to go live and actually physically do some data analytics on finance, Google Analytics, social media campaign, and newsletter as well. So loads of different examples that we're actually going to physically do after we've jumped through these couple of slides just to set the base. So of course, tourism businesses, like any business, we generate so much data, and there was a big push over the last couple of years to get as much data into our business, and we were meant to be looking at that. But most business owners, marketing managers, operations, finance managers, we're probably not looking and analyzing all of the data we have. When I think of tourism businesses, I'm thinking of the booking, the website analytics, the social media interactions, the reviews, and so much more. And AI can help us effortlessly process this data, turning large numbers of spreadsheets into points of we can action, and back up some strategic decisions that we're making in our business. AI analytics is very different from traditional reporting because we can use the AI to help us predict future trends. So the data we looked at up to now, we've obviously been looking at it historically, and it's down to us to analyze that and come up with insights. But if we're very smart, we can actually use it to maybe help us with forecasting future trends. And for small businesses, the biggest benefit is that it allows us to level the playing fields with the big, highly funded tech enterprises out there that are dominating online, but even generating the maximum revenue they can from all of their customers. So it really does level the playing field. So AI analytics allows us to scale. It gives us rapid insights into how our business is doing, and there's no doubt any business using it will get a competitive edge. How you start with it and where to start is, if you can think of, and we're going to always focus on one area, so think of one business question or one business objective that you want to improve when you're going through your analytics, or your data, and that's the focus. Think of actions, not numbers, if that makes sense. So good insights or good data always leads to decisions. So there's no point in having data. We need the decisions. The data is just available everywhere, to be honest. So just go to the next slide. So what can we use AI analytics for? So AI tools can track how customers move through our websites, for example, where they click, what packages or pages interest them, what point they abandon and leave the page. And we can do that at scale. It identifies trends, on which pages convert best, at which stage visitors drop off or buy. Very important to know, because maybe we need to change copy at that point, or change images or call to actions. An example of that might be that you find using AI when you look at your analytics that direct bookings through the website peak at midday on Wednesday. And that would be a perfect day then to send an email campaign out. So again, we can use AI to identify bottlenecks in our businesses, and even we'll have a look at, when we look at the email marketing, how we can segment our customers and our clients as well. Finance is a big one. So I definitely do not have a background in finance, and finance and operational efficiency is obviously one side, we're generating revenue, but obviously then the other side is how we can save costs. So AI can help us with pricing decisions. And of course, at enterprise level, with the right software, we can have automatically adjusting dynamic prices, which is based on real-time data and forecasted demand. And a good example of that is tickets for concerts or events. We'd all know and see that and have experienced that. And we know in tourism and hospitality, that's a very hot topic at the moment. So dynamic pricing is where AI analyzes the competition, local events, booking patterns. It could look at historical occupancy data and recommend the best pricing for a hotel room, for example. When we think of AI, or think of our operations, AI can help us take full advantage of cost savings. So we need to think of energy and staff scheduling. That's a big one, two big costs for any business at the moment. And when we were looking at reports and data online, we're finding that AI-based scheduling of staff or team members helped SMEs on average save 15% of their annual operation costs. So it saved the businesses being overstaffed at times when they didn't need the people in. So again, can you feed your old scheduling tools and your sales into an AI tool and start to analyze future predictions on when you might need staff, as opposed to just copy and pasting historic spreadsheets of schedules of team members. So again, can you use that and do that within your business? So again, we'll look at some actual campaigns on social media. Of course, social media, website content, any marketing campaigns, we've got loads of data from that, and we can use AI then to analyze that. What we see again is another stat we seen was hotels using dynamic pricing could boost their occupancy between 12 and 15%. And again, if we can automate demand forecasting, we can reduce our waste. We can have maybe fewer empty rooms, less food ordered, and back to the lower energy bills as well. So really good way to go. A tip, and we'll have a look at this when we get into ChatGPT, is the scheduling tool. So maybe you would use that to send you a report every day for reviews of your business, and that can be done within the scheduling tool of ChatGPT if you have a paid account, and I'll show you that when we get into it. Because again, it's a very useful tool, even to get, for example, tourism news in Northern Ireland or globally, if you want to be kept up to date on what's happening. So we'll have a look at that. So things to remember, of course, when you're thinking of what can you do and how do you do it. So AI recommendations are not instructions. So you still need, that's where we come in. We still need our industry knowledge to interpret what the AI is giving us. So you need to know, asking questions like, does this, what it's saying, does it align to what we know about our guests? So as I say, if AI comes back and gives you, right, do this, obviously roll in with your own knowledge and do sense check it. So don't take it word for word and roll it out. We still need to make sure that we are making the decisions. It's a great facilitator, but not the decision maker within the business. We're suggesting that you start with one use case again, and we'll have a few now in a second, and see how you get on with your data analytics. The data, the output is only as good as the data that you put in. So again, if you're putting in more data into the AI, then the results are going to be better and more accurate. Already mentioned human oversight, so definitely consider that, and think of privacy and compliance. So again, we're all bound by GDPR. If we're using a free AI tool, we do not want to be putting in sensitive data into that, because that data might be used by the AI for training and might be taking taken outside of the UK, EU area, maybe into a US server for training the AI tool. So with a paid account, in the T's and C's, that data is secure within your account, and that's something to be very mindful of when you're putting in a lot of data around the business. It could be financial figures or anything else that might be a little bit sensitive. Now there is enterprise level, of course, and we're just to mention it, and more enterprise software are adding analytics and AI into the data that they're providing to us, which is great to see. But we do not need to be a big business to leverage AI. The basic tools will provide us incredible insights into what we have. And as I say, we're looking at the everyday tools that we can use that we're already using in the business. So that's what we're going to focus on today. Back to it. So pick a small area, a small pilot project. It could be looking at the newsletters or emails, and see how you analyze the data, and then basically start from there. But again, just as I highlighted, so the AI analytics does not replace the human decision making. It basically empowers it. So it really does help us with questions and understanding what and where we can benefit from using the AI analytics. So again, what we're going to look at now is Google Analytics. We're going to look at Search Console from Google. So that's 2 websites. We're going to look at financial accounts and how we can use it to help us understand the finance and operations of the business. We're going to look at a social media advert, email newsletter data, and how we can analyze customer reviews as well. A cheat code I would definitely recommend, and you've probably heard me say this before, is ask the AI what you can ask it about the data. It will come up with better questions than we ever will even think of, and you'll see that in the examples today. So again, the power tip is, if you've got data for anything, and we've mentioned a few things, examples today, anything at all where you have data, whatever that type of data is, ask the AI what would be the best questions to ask around that data, and it will come back with loads of questions, and then you just go through a process of giving it the data and asking those questions, and that's how you will get the best insight and new ideas and new thoughts around what's happening with your information. So again, just the last slide. So think of goals, not the data, but like, what do you want to achieve? And then make sure your data is excellent, so how much data you can get in. And I've got a few different channels of where we can get some data from, and we can use that to analyze today. Just one thing I put a line through it here, is that thankfully we don't have to merge multiple sources and remove duplicates and standardized formats. Again, that would have been done in traditional data analytics. With AI, we don't have to do that. We can just put in any type of data. It will do all of that for us. So it just removes another barrier from us actually taking action. So I'm just coming out of the slides, and we're going to go through some demonstrations now. So here I'm using Claude AI. So we're going to use Claude AI and ChatGPT for this today. And again, any of these tools will work, and both of them will give you slightly different results. We're both on the paid plan in these. So in Claude AI, I have given it some email marketing data, and I'm just going to show you what that looks like now. So I've went to my email marketing tool, and I've downloaded some data from previous campaigns that I have sent. So I just went into my user, like MailChimp or any of these, and you can just hit download on your data analytics, and it's got date, campaign names, email sent, open rates, click-throughs, bookings, the revenue generated from it, unsubscribes and bounce rates. So I've just pasted all of that in to ChatGPT, and basically I've asked it to analyze the data, which is fine, and again putting in some information here. So what it's done, it's come back with a dashboard. Now again, what we do get in our own newsletter tools, we do get dashboards, and it may look like this, but it's very interesting again to see how the AI has analyzed this data. So what I would do again is definitely look at the analytics that are presented to you in your software at the moment, but have a look then at what the AI picks out as the important information to present to you. So again, I give this free rein and said, produce a useful dashboard for me to analyze this data. So with that raw data that I've put in here, it's come back and created this visual dashboard for me. And again, if you don't have much analytics in your email software, because I know our tool that you're using, again, think of any data that you might have. You may not have access to a great dashboard like this. When you see information presented like this, it's so easy to consume and go through. So this is a great way to get that. But then, of course, what I asked it was, what would be good questions to ask around this data? So I use that cheat of asking the AI what's the best questions to interrogate to get the best from this information. And again, it's come back with a total of 20 questions that I could and should ask. And what I would do then is just ask it to answer these questions. But when I look at these questions, so it's come up with what was the ROI difference between sending to our segmented audience versus a general list. So again, the segmented audience is where you're sending out a newsletter and someone signs up and you're sending them very generic information. But ideally then you would be tracking the links that people are clicking within that. So I might be a hotel sending out a newsletter, and in that then I am highlighting maybe a family room and family activities, and then maybe a couple's activities, and people will click on different links in that, and that will then put them into different buckets or segments within our newsletter, and I can then follow up and send a family email if that's what they're interested in. So I'm using that email to segment the audience. So it's telling me, for example, that there's 3 to 4x better performance on targeted segments in our email list. So when we've been sending out just generic emails and then we send out a targeted email, we're getting 3 to 4 times better performance in the targeted ones. Again, which specific customer segments generated the most booking for the hotel? How did the seasonal campaigns impact our conversion rate through the year? So again, it identified that we had some seasonal campaigns in this as well, and it's coming back and saying that we had lift or not. And again, we just ask it then to answer these questions, and that leads us down the path. So again, you can see we don't need to know loads about analytics to come up with some incredible questions. The whole secret is ask the AI to give you the list of questions, and that's, as I say, there's 20 questions there that I would never have thought of, and we would never have looked at in our analytics, and you just ask those of the AI. So if I was then looking at, and then when you download your data, it can be as unpolished as this. So you download it normally as a CSV, so you don't have to give it really clean data. It will go through it. That one of the probably the biggest things that the best thing that AI is at, it is analyzing data before it even writes content. So this is their bread and butter, so it's what they do best. So we should take full advantage of it. So if we then look at accounts, so again, finances and accounts, we've got some business owners that definitely don't understand and know how accounts are working in their operation. So what we have here is standard accounts for a hotel, again, for 1 year. And what we have is we've got the month, the room revenue, the food and drink revenue, the spa revenue, and other revenue all the way through. We've got different events. Then we've got our costs, our marketing, our maintenance, insurance, property tax. Everything is in here that we have, the data that we have, probably in our accounts that maybe an accountant or bookkeeper is creating for us. And we've pasted that in here. And again, it automatically goes to want to create a dashboard. Now, very interesting, classic with AI, it failed the first time and I just hit continue and it reran, and I got my dashboard of this data. So again, from that dump of numbers, we got an amazingly detailed dashboard here that shows me trends and what's happening. And again, I can ask it to change colors or format or headings in any of these if I like some of these, and then draw them into a report maybe that I want to look at. But I can see instantly trends here, how the business is performing and how things are going. So again, hopefully in your account software you would have this, but if you're doing this a little bit more manual, or you want to take that data and go deeper into it, ask some questions that you maybe don't or can't ask the accountant. So it's giving me the dashboard, but then I would ask it then, what's the questions? What are the good questions to ask this about this data? And again, it's come back with some incredible questions that I would never have even thought of. So again, we've got so many, maybe there's 40 questions here. So again, you can see it's went into detail. So operational data, guest data, market data, staff data, and then we can dive into this. So I can then have it analyze these questions and come back to me with answers, and then go a little bit deeper. And of course, if I'm using the Claude tool for this here, if we're using ChatGPT, I can actually do this by voice and have a conversation with it over and back, and ask it verbally questions, and it will answer it back to me, and have a more detailed conversation around how our business is performing. So again, and it's given me tips there in changing our visual diagrams, but I can deep dive into all aspects of the business here. So again, it's given me things to watch out for, interpreting the data, and then advanced techniques as well. So again, the information here is incredible, and all I would do at this point is I would just type in, start answering all of these questions in as much detail as possible, and then when it starts coming back and there's numbers coming back, I would again dive in. I'd say, right, okay, what else do I need to watch out for? What are the things I should be concerned about? What's the trends? Can you predict the future? And then if I know anything that's coming up in the news, I would put that in. If there was an event or something happening seasonally this year, then I would put that in and ask it to adjust for that. So again, I can quickly get reports and analyze the finances without being an expert that understands finances. And again, this can be done for any department in your business. So again, great to do. Also, just to highlight again, if you remember back in one of the visual webinars we did, we've got tools like Napkin, which is totally free at the moment. So again, if you have your data you want more charts or graphs, and you are creating a report, you can just sign in to Napkin and add your data, and it will start creating basically charts for you, and you can actually prompt it to get the charts that you want. So with this here, it wrote a basic report on our figures here, so it gave me an executive summary and insight into how our business is performing. And again, that's just from that initial prompt of data that we gave it, the numbers at the start. So I put this in here, and then I can start having the Napkin AI create some visuals and charts for me, and roll them into our presentation. We can download them as JPEGs or any way we want. So again, it's a great tool to add a little bit of spice to any presentation that you might have. So reviews, again, we know tourism and hospitality businesses have a lot of reviews. So I went to Google Maps and manually copied, sadly, while ChatGPT does have access to the internet. There's some sites that still can't fully crawl, but that will change, I'm sure, in time. So I manually copied these reviews. I just went down and highlighted them all and copied them and pasted them into ChatGPT. And again, I know in some platforms you can export the reviews, but it might be a little bit of a manual copy. But again, it's definitely worthwhile. So I asked, can you go and get the reviews? And it came back and says, no, it can't crawl Google Maps. So that's fine. So it recommended I paste them in, which I did do, and I've pasted all these in. And basically then, once I had them all pasted in, I asked it to identify trends, patterns, what are people saying that we're good at, where's opportunities for improvement. So you can see a lot of pasting here. Now you can put these onto a document and add it as an attachment, or you can just copy and paste in as I have. So again, we don't need to format the data. That's one of the biggest barriers removed. Oh, there we go. So you can see, yes, there's a lot of reviews. And then basically I've asked it, so give me a detailed review, or analyze this information and give me some trends on what we should focus on. So it's given me a lot of information that obviously, through hundreds of reviews, I know in hospitality and tourism, thousands and thousands of reviews, it's just impossible to go through and get. So it's really interesting to see what's pulled out. And it's interesting to see, for example, what keywords and phrases and terms are being pulled out. Again, I just couldn't do this manually. And where people see our strengths. So again, can you do it for yours? And then I've asked it, then it went, that's brilliant. And I then asked it, where can we improve? What can we do? Is there things that we should strategically focus on? So again, having a conversation with this. And yeah, can you spot any trends? What services are mentioned most? So again, ask it the questions. The data and your prompts are the key to unlocking everything. And then that gives us the the information we need to make those strategic long-term decisions. So again, I've asked it for the trends, and it's come back and said, look, here's the things that are mentioned most often. Here's what people are saying, and then it actually went ahead and gave us a breakdown. I didn't ask it for charts or graphs, but it started to do this. And again, yeah, it's given us ideas for the future, what we should focus on and what we should do in our business. So again, it said that we should showcase some staff, highlight some testimonials, all really good advice, again, leaning into what we want to do in our business. So again, a great way to analyze what's happening in your business. And we'd see these review platforms are going to bring in the summary, and it will become easier for us to use. But at the moment, the best way to do this is to copy and paste the data into an AI like ChatGPT. And again, you can do this on the free or paid. Just to highlight again is that just do keep an eye. We're seeing a big change in traffic. So ChatGPT is still on fire with sending traffic to businesses. So it's interesting to see. And Bing is growing at the moment, and the other AIs are tailing off a wee bit. So ChatGPT is still dominating. But you could take your data from your Google Search Console and paste that in and analyze that and see what's happening on your website. And I'm going to jump in and look at one of our websites for Google Search Console and how we would do it and the difference this makes as well. So again, what I could do is I have a page here, and I could ask this the AI, Control A copy, Control A select all, Control C copy. And if I went into any of these tools, ChatGPT, can you improve this article? And I paste it in and let it do it. So it's doing this work without any data. There's no insights or information in this. So again, if you're asking it to create social media posts or anything and you've given it no history or no data, it will use what's in this database, and it's going to come back with some, it's probably too long. Let's see, I've broken it. Let's see. And but if you put in some data, so again, what we have here is our data here. I'm going to go and find the keywords for this page, for example. It should be actually, I'm sure it'll be here. And I'm going to take that data and put it in with a really good prompt. So again, here I am. I'm on this page, and here's the data for this page and all of the keywords. So there's 500 keywords on this page. So all I do is hit export and take that to Google Sheets. So this is what you do for any information. Now I can take the whole website, but I'm just going to take this sheet here and copy this in. And what I wanted to show you is the difference between adding data and the page itself. So again, just copy this data in. So Chat's working away. So brilliant. So Chat's rewriting my content here. That's great. So I'm going to go to Claude, and I'm going to put in the data from Google Search Console, and I'm going to put in the console and have them fighting against each other. So can you review this data from Google Search Console and improve this article? Now, I do, again, back to it, as we say all along, is we have this prompt that we've created. So instead of me just putting in that one-line sentence, I've asked it here, we've worked out this big prompt. So no lazy prompts, as you'll have seen in the previous webinars. We want to build out a prompt over a period of time, and we can ask AI to help us build this prompt out. So if I go in here again, and I'm just going to paste in this prompt, and let it do its magic, and we let them both run, and we can see the difference between the two. So Claude is analyzing the data and the article, and ChatGPT is analyzing the article just and going to come back with a new article. So it's working away. So both tools are working as we continue. We come back. So one thing while that's working away, just to highlight where we're going in the near future, is that we have a thing called Operator already launched globally with ChatGPT. It's on the highest paid account, and it will filter down. With what operators do is they will actually take an action and automatically work. So again, with this, I could attach analytics and ask it to analyze the data to an expert's level, and it will do that. But what we see, so let's say I want to find a best rated Spanish restaurant. Let me see, I need to book an Italian restaurant near me for tomorrow for 2. So I'm going to have a wee prompt here. I'm going to put in, and this is what the operators do. So it's slightly more advanced level. So again, you'll see what happens here is that it will actually you set up operators to do actions for you, and you leave them and let them work away. So you'll set up 5 or 6 actions. So if you've got automatic actions, so an example of that could be to take your Google Analytics data or your Facebook ads data and analyze it every single day, and or anytime you run this action. So you can see what it's doing here. It's going through all of the restaurants. It's doing it itself and going to actually go through and book me a restaurant for this weekend. So I'm going to actually stop that because I get in trouble booking restaurants not attending. So you can see how powerful that is. So again, we're going to have these operators who will take this to the next level. So and that's available already in the highest level, and soon to roll out to the lower levels on ChatGPT. But you'll see more of that coming in the near future. So here we have the AI tool has analyzed the data and the content, and let's see the difference. As I say, has come back. So so it's basically the improvements it's made are based on stats and facts, and obviously the impact on that is going to be so much better. So it's basically saying you know, why we should change things, and it's giving us a full layout of everything that we should do, and it's based on data that will help us improve our business. Whereas the one from ChatGPT, which is still writing, is it's making it up without the data. So there's no different. The difference between the two is night and day. There's no comparison between them, and there's no doubt that the Claude example with the data is going to perform so much better because it's improved the article based on data that it has, the rankings that it already has. So it's going to take it to the next level. So that's the difference between just going in blind and asking the AI to write an article or to analyze something or to write a post for social media. But if you can give it your data, your history, your past posts, then the output that we get is going to be many times better. And again, just jumping in. So here's an example here of Facebook data. So Facebook ads data. So again, if I went to our Facebook account and downloaded the metrics from a social media ad campaign or organic posts and post them in, you can. The beautiful thing is you can take screenshots if you have a dashboard of any graphs and add that in as well. And again, it will go through and start analyzing the information as soon as you put it in. Again, the classic one is do ask it what information or questions I should ask about this topic, and what you'll find is it will come back with questions that you never have thought of asking, much more deeper than we would normally think. So for example, which core campaigns give the best actual revenue, not just clicks and bookings. So again, you're getting really into the weeds, and that is probably the key to getting the best for analytics. So just to round up, what we're highlighting today is that AI powered analytics is very easy to do. It's just taking as much of the latest data you have and putting it into your AI tool of choice. It doesn't matter if it's Perplexity, Claude, ChatGPT, or any of the rest of them. We recommend a paid account if you can, because obviously your data then is going to be secure within that account. You don't necessarily want your data being used for any training purposes or going outside of that. And ask the AI what's the questions I should ask about this data. It will give you'll have questions, of course, but it will give you much more deeper and detailed questions. And again, if you are in a paid plan of ChatGPT, you can go to voice and have a voice conversation with it and debate the answers over and back. And that's a really good way to maybe speed up the process and get deeper into the analytics. So that was a quick official stop tour of how to use analytics, but hopefully you see that it's actually not overly technical or difficult. Now, of course, using Power BI and all of these enterprise level software, it's another level in automations. But for us, for most businesses today, just take your data, add it, and ask AI what's the best questions to ask, and you get incredible insight into your business. So I'll stop at that and see if there's any questions. So hopefully that will encourage enough people now to consider using AI for analyzing their business.
Thank you so much, Kieran. Yeah, that was a whistle-stop tour, but I suppose a reminder to everybody, as always, we've recorded today's session, and then you can watch it back at your leisure, and you can pause and maybe have a play about while you're kind of thinking about what Kieran's told you there. So, as usual, I'll be kicking off our Q&A session shortly as well. So, if you have any questions that you haven't popped into the chat or the question box just yet, feel free to slot those in now, and we'll get through as many as we can here this morning. Just before we get stuck in, we're going to do our standard couple of polls just to get a feel for how useful you find today's session. So first of all, how would you rate today's session in terms of overall satisfaction? That's on a scale of 1 to 5. With 5, sorry, being extremely satisfied. Okay, give everyone a chance to complete that one. Okay, second of all, how would you rate today's session in terms of content and relevance to your business? So once again, on a scale of 1 to 5. Fastest finger first. Thank you, everybody. And finally, do you plan to take any action within your business as a direct result of what we've heard from Kieran today? Okay, that's really helpful. Thank you so much. I suppose just a reminder as well that you will receive a link to a short evaluation form in the email that you'll get along with the link to today's recording once it's ready to view. And we really would appreciate if you could take a couple of minutes to fill that in. Let us know how you find this session, how you find the series so far, but also an opportunity for you to let us know anything else that you'd like to see from Tourism NI or the Tourism Enterprise Development Programme going forward in webinars or events or anything like that. Okay, Kieran, let's get stuck into a couple of questions now. We haven't been as inundated today. I think in a way people are processing all of that. They're analysing the data as well. And a couple of these I think you might have covered within, but I'll touch on them again just to reiterate, Kieran, if that's okay. So someone was wondering, and this was at the start before you did cover it, but if we input data into ChatGPT, could competitors then go in and ask if the software has information on us and then see your data? So in terms of data safety, would you might remind us about that?
Sure. So yeah, ChatGPT doesn't allow direct access to previously inputted data by other users, which is great. But again, if you're using a free plan, it may use your data for training purposes, and there has been historically instances and cases where data has leaked that way. So just to be super safe, the best way is to use a paid plan, and your
Mm-hmm.
data is kept within your account.
Yeah, that's great, and use the read all the T's and C's so you know exactly
Yeah.
what you're signing up to, I suppose. Exactly. Great. Okay. Someone's wondering, is Copilot safe to use, Karen?
No, brilliant. So yeah, it follows all the good GDPR compliance and encryption points for user data. But with any of these tools, obviously you can use Copilot at a free level or paid. And then there's a lot of permissions depending if you're in a business account. So who has permissions to see what? So again, it's back to 100% safe if it's used correctly, and the user management is set up as well. So again, back to ideally paid plan and business plan just to keep the data safe.
Mm-hmm. I see we've actually had another question just in relation to Copilot there. Would you have any kind of preference, or would it be better, or GPT in terms of certain uses? Would there be a preference, or how would they compare?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. Yeah, different tools for different purposes, I guess. Personally, I would find Claude at the moment is the best tool for analyzing data and for coding. ChatGPT is probably a close second, and then obviously Copilot is built off ChatGPT, so there'll be a marginal difference. If
Mm-hmm.
you're using Copilot within a platform or tools that you already use, then it's probably the best one to use because it's more convenient. There's a very minor difference between them all. So you can definitely test. I'd be testing in 2 or 3 tools, see which one gives me the best result because they're always updating, and go with that. But yeah, there's very little difference. But I would say for data, Claude, Chat, and then maybe Copilot are probably in order.
Okay, someone's wondering about why not use Chat or Power BI or Google Analytics for the dashboards? Why Claude or ChatGPT? What's your thoughts on that, Ken?
Totally, no, no, brilliant. Because again, today was just a top level view to make it accessible to most people. But you're totally right. If you're doing intense or more enterprise level, using tools like Power BI, that's the dream. I just am aware most people don't have access to that. So yeah, we didn't cover it, but at enterprise level, totally, that's the way you could and should go.
Okay, someone's wondering, suppose if you're trying to do a paid account and you're trying to sort of a not a catch-all, but in terms of across the board, from your experience, what marketing automation platform would be best value whilst also having really good data output for analyzing? So if you, I suppose if you wanted one platform to use for marketing automation and data analysis.
Yeah, no, sure, I know. Um, we would use make.com a lot. We haven't covered it in the webinars, but make.com, if you haven't looked at it or tried it, it is incredible. Another one that's close second, probably Zapier. But so Zapier if you're only beginning, and if you're wee bit more advanced, then make.com is incredible because you can connect everything to it, and you can automate everything in your business. It's incredible, from yeah, connecting to ChatGPT to create posts for social media to automatically post. Yeah, make.com is the, I'd say, the market lead in that.
Okay. What would be the best way to feed data from Instagram into an AI tool to analyze Instagram uh, data,
Sorry.
Kieran?
Yeah, no, that's a good one. I'm gonna actually see if there's a tool here now to extract data from Instagram. What I would do is with posts, I would copy and paste them in, as take a feed and post in maybe 10 or 15 of them, and that will give it some data. I'm gonna have a look as we're chatting to see if there's a tool that extracts data from Instagram without having to have a fancy API. So as we're chatting, I'll look at this now.
No worries. Okay, so someone's wondering here. So they asked AI tools to compare their Google reviews against other businesses, but it couldn't access their reviews. Is there any reason why that would be?
Yeah, no, so it's crawling. So basically, some websites are blocked from crawling, and at the moment it looks like I had the exact same experience. I was trying to use ChatGPT to crawl Google reviews, and it wouldn't, so it's clearly blocked. So what the best thing to do is maybe copy and paste. I know it's a little bit manual, but again, we would have probably done it a lot more manual and just looked at things in the past, but yeah, there's a little bit of copy and paste to do in that. And there is other sites, so like Trustpilot and other sites that you can crawl, but some platforms are blocking the AIs to protect their data. So copy paste will get you exactly what you want.
Okay, that's really good. Okay, this is an interesting one in terms of using AI for forecasting, forecasting your visitors. This is someone that's an outdoor attraction, so weather is such a major factor. Can AI factor that in? Obviously, can AI forecast the weather, but it's I suppose it's looking at the bigger picture. Kieran, what do you think?
No, totally. Again, what we do in that case is maybe take the 2 weeks or the forecast and paste it in. It hasn't been fully integrated yet that I've seen, but again, 100% that's something that's going to come. These tools are going to get better at forecasting, and I'm sure most of the platforms that businesses use today are integrating AI and analytics into the tool. They just haven't got there yet. So it
Hmm.
will come, but it's just a wee bit behind. So there's a little bit of manual work in that, but I would maybe, yeah, if you know or you want to predict in, if you've got a view, and then maybe you'd say, right, okay, run the numbers, and it is bad weather, so sales might be down 20%, or it's going to be great weather, sales are up X, and then you could have two or three models, and then roll out the one that's more relevant at the time.
Yeah, that makes sense. Absolutely. Someone's wondering if you could give a little bit more guidance on how you to use AI for dynamic pricing. I know you touched slightly on that maybe at the start. Is there any guidance on that you can share?
Yeah, so there's actually platforms. I'll put in two or three links that actually do that. Let me see, I get them now and I put them in and share them. So I'll do that too. And these tools actually do dynamic pricing for businesses. So You can see, so basically, yeah, you could use a software tool that will do it, or you can do it a wee bit manual if it's a smaller business. So you get your data, you'd use AI to analyze the data on your past demand. If you had any information on competition, or you scrape online and ask it to analyze what's happening in the market, ask it to consider seasonality, and then obviously your customer behavior if you have any data in that. So I would be putting everything I have into the AI tool and ask it to analyze how things are going forward. But then you have to, for dynamic pricing, then to operate on your platform, you'd need to roll in a little bit of software that will actually adjust the pricing for you based on that, unless you're going to do it manually. So I have two links here. I'll put them into chat now,
Yeah,
and you can have a look at that now as well.
super. Thank you so much, Kieran. I'll let you slot those in.
Yeah. So there's two links just shared as an example. But there's lots of platforms that do this for sure. And if anyone's using a booking system, then they can inquire with them as well to see if they've got dynamic pricing as an option.
Okay, super. We're getting a couple of other questions in that maybe aren't so data, but we have a little bit of time. So I'll just put you on the spot on the hot seat, Kieran. But so someone's wondering here. They have been reliant on using OTAs, online travel agents, rather than people booking direct via their website for security reasons. But is there a good option that could help them to host a website? I suppose, is there an AI solution to that, to helping you in terms of developing a website, a bookable part on your website, or is that more of a general website development
Yeah, no,
question?
I'd say again, yeah, a good website there should be no reason at all. Back to security, the security on websites now are second to none. The OTAs would be using the exact same platforms for taking payments. You integrate into any of the popular payment platforms out there that the OTAs would use as well. And the good thing, all the card details and information is kept off-site. So you'd have a little like iframe on your website. People put in their payment details, so you don't handle any of that. So yeah, a good website now is super secure. We don't see, gosh, you don't see any issues around taking bookings or payments at all. So I don't, yeah, I think it's a good website. But again, if it's not, if we didn't answer that, please do let us know. But yeah, it
Yeah.
shouldn't be.
I think they were looking for a recommendation on a platform for hosting a website, but we can even pick that up. We can even pick that up again directly, so that's no problem. Okay. And someone was wondering, um, uh, the, sorry, a little bit about which social media platform. Oh yes, is there an AI tool that would kind of direct you to what sort of social media platform would work best for your business? Can it help direct you towards the right marketing tools based on the type of
Um,
business you have?
Yeah, again, I would have like it's so bad. I would have a conversation with ChatGPT and debate. So if you are on the paid plan, again, just because it's the best one, best intelligence, having a conversation with. So I would be driving and playing through the Bluetooth. I'm having a conversation with ChatGPT. So that's just been super productive. So yeah, so I would just have a chat with Chat and tell it about your business. If you can, again, add in any data to it, put in the web link. You can copy and paste your homepage, about us page, and have a debate over and back, the pros and cons. You can talk about your time and how much resources you have, and you get a custom reply to that.
Brilliant. That sounds great. And actually, we did recently have an in-person event about marketing channels, and we chatted through all the different social media platforms and some of the pros and cons of those. So we have some recordings for that on our website at tourismandI.com/TED. So if that might be worth that person's while to go and have a wee look at that and see our expert about all the different platforms and things too. So that could be really useful. Thank you so much. I suppose just one final one. I know you've obviously said best for this scenario in particular to have the paid version if you were using ChatGPT. Is there, are there different levels of that? Is there a recommended sort of starting point or level that you would suggest that people would go in at for that, Kieran? Or is
Yeah.
it just
So
a standard kind of
yeah,
thing?
No, totally. Most of the tools are around $20 each, so it's about
Hmm.
£16 sterling. So again, that's per month. So give or take between them. So
Hmm.
again, yeah, any of those, sign up for a month, and you're going to get the one of the best levels available, and it's definitely worth it because you'll get an extra bump on the quality of the information that you get back. It's the same for Claude and Perplexity; they all are around that price. So yeah, it's a good price to go for.
Hmm. Oh, just one more. Is there a way of using AI to respond to social media comments? Now, I know that we did sort of AI for writing. Is there? I'm wondering if they mean it almost in an automated way.
Yeah, so I'm just putting sorry, I know Barry's sharing, so it's great. I just put another link in there, so just to
Oh,
share a
fab.
little bit about the
Yeah.
Instagram. No, no, I know I should. It'll go to everyone. Hopefully now Barry's sorted us out. But
That's
yeah, if you want to do it automatically, so for example, our Google reviews, we would use AI to reply to them. So we would copy the review into ChatGPT, ask it. So we've got one chat that's just for reviews. So it's got a long history. We pasted in our original reviews, and then so it knew what our tone of voice was and what we said, and
hmm.
then basically every time just go into that one chat and paste in the review, it writes a reply. We copy it, tweak it slightly, and paste it back. So you can do it manually that way.
Hmm. Hmm.
And if you wanted to use an automation, that link that we've just shared is back to the Make tool that we talked about.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
you can connect up your social media, and you can connect it to your OpenAI or ChatGPT account, and it will do it automatically for you. So it
Brilliant.
gets, yeah, going to the next level. So that's where we're all going now, is the automation with this. So that's a really good tool. And if you wanted to see how to do that, again, go into YouTube, and you'll see some videos on how to actually implement it. But it's very straightforward.
Yeah, no, that's great. Thank you so much. Thanks for everybody's questions today. I hope you find the session useful. And I suppose don't forget the recording from all of our previous sessions are now available to view. So if you head to tourismandI.com/TED and head into the AI webinar series, then you know you can get through to the links of each of the individual topics. And as I say, we'll get today's up as quickly as we possibly can. We're also going to be very soon launching a number of AI modules. With Kieran's support on My Tourism NI, our e-learning platform. So if you are not on there yet, I'd really recommend signing up and taking a look. There's lots of other useful topics on there, and AI, of course, is coming soon. So it has been developed especially for the industry to help build expertise, but it's at your own pace. You can go in and do one module, you can go back and do another one, or you could sit for a few hours and trundle through a few different topics. So we have just put some new models on there on knowing and understanding the NI and ROI markets, and we'll have some AI modules coming on there very soon. If you head to tourismni.com/my tourism NI, you can get some more detail on how to sign up. Or if you head straight to mytourismni.com, maybe if you've already signed up but haven't started using it yet, then that's the place to go. We did do a little lunch and learn webinar on the platform recently, doing a little bit of a tour around it. So again, you can go and find out that at tourismandI.com/lunch learn, where we have all our lunch and learn webinars recorded as well. You can spend all day just watching me do introducing people. So thank you so much. Thanks, Kieran, for taking us all through the world of AI. We've been on quite a journey from written content, images, videos, and now today on the data analytics side. So it's been genuinely eye-opening. Thank you so much. We're really grateful for your time. And as always, of course, special thanks to the team at Eventful behind the scenes, Barry and Eden keeping everything running smoothly on the technical side for us. And finally, just thank you to everyone who's joined us for today's session, but also throughout the whole series. It's been such a pleasure. All the engagement and all the questions has been really, really enjoyable. Lovely to see that. And hopefully we'll welcome you along to some of our other Tourism and I webinars and events in the near future. See you all soon. And thanks so much. Have a great rest of your day. Cheers. Thanks, Kieran.